Ready, Willing, and Able is a transitional work, transitional housing facility for 70 single homeless men. The mission of RWA is independence and self-sufficiency. We and the people that we serve are not interested in a hand out, but a hand up.
I am a supervisor in training. A typical day for me here at Ready, Willing, and Able is to help the supervisor who I work with to gather the lunch for the guys, get our assignments for the day, and to come out here and make sure that the work is getting done.
Right now I'm in the empowerment zone, which is a new initiative started in the northern part of Philadelphia, and we're keeping an area clean. We're upkeeping an area. Daily maintenance, emptying trash, keeping the curbs clean, sweeping the streets. It's a daily presence in the neighborhood.
Our graduation criteria, it's three things. It's that you have a job, you have a key to a place that you call your own, and that you are alcohol and other drug-free. We have some mandatory things here at Ready, Willing, and Able that you've got to participate in, and one of them is job preparation. In addition to that, you have another 4 weeks of part-time job search, and after that month, you have a month of full-time job search.
There's a list of things that we have to do, like our objectives while in the program. One of the things was cleaning up any legal obligations, and I'm making inroads to that. Getting a driver's license, and I'm making inroads to that. That's another marketable asset. There's a couple of different things that as stages progress in the program, I can attain this so that when I'm at the end, I have a complete package to present to a potential employer.
The most important thing that I learned thus far is men becoming good men, men becoming better men. No matter what the situation may have been in their life through drug addiction, homelessness, divorce, whatever, that we can come together as a whole in one unit and build each other up to become better fathers, better husbands, potential husbands, better men, better employees and employers.
This program is about living inside and outside of this building with dignity and self-respect. So all of those things that kind of like were churning around in people's lives prior to them getting here, especially for those people who may have had historical criminal justice involvement. Those things, meaning your record, are not going away. And they are certainly a hurdle that you have to leap over. But the preparation that you get while you're here is to build something that kind of outweighs whatever your past looks like. The primary thing that allows a man to be in this building is that he is homeless. And so what we try to do a lot here at Ready, Willing, and Able is change the perception of who people who happen to be homeless are. Everybody is not derelict, everybody is not laying on the ground, everybody is not a criminal, everybody is not committing crimes, that kind of thing. The other part of it is to move people from hopelessness to hope. And that's where the motivational stuff comes in at.
Before I came here, I had given up on life altogether. I just got fed up and tired, and I was married for a while, raised 4 kids, and I was tired. And when I came into Ready, Willing, Able, I ain't had no hope at all, And for some reason or another, something just kicked in, for me to give this place a chance. And I had a chance here to actually to explore myself and also demonstrate what I had learned over the years prior to me being homeless. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here now, because I feel as though it's something that has to be passed on to not just the older generation, but the younger generation as well, that's fallen into the same category of homelessness and everything else at a young age.
I grew up knowing I wanted a college degree, but then I had children, and that was the end of that for a while. Now I've gotten to the point where I put my kids through school and it's my turn, so now I'm ready. My name is Molly and I live in Roxborough. I saw the article in the paper about Graduate Philadelphia, and I said, this is a sign. It's my turn and this is how I'm going to do it. You know, I'm kind of a shy person to begin with, so it was difficult to even walk through the door. But, you know, once I got here, it seemed so friendly. It just made me feel a lot safer. If I knew at the outset that I only needed 3 credits, I'd still come here, because to find my way through the maze and to find the courage, I would have needed some help. Even though I have very supportive children, I still would have needed some reassurance that it wasn't a waste of time, or that I could actually navigate the maze myself.
There used to be an economy that existed for people who had a set of skills. Today, 1 in 20 jobs is in manufacturing, but even those jobs that are left in manufacturing are really education-based.
The college degree today is the minimum that you need in order to be truly self-sufficient.
Employers need more and more people who have the skills that are typically acquired in college. And that's how Graduate Philadelphia started.
I think the impact that Graduate Philadelphia can have on this region is almost limitless. So many people with such strong skills are being wasted every day because they're either not working, or they're working in jobs that are well below their talents.
I thought it was one of those things where, oh, it's just a piece of paper I can do without, you know, I can get just as far working those 4 years as I would be going to school. And it turns out I'm wrong. Just by getting the degree itself is practically going to double my income. That's always a bonus, you know, and then also makes you a little bit more influential, I think, you know, to be able to say something, and then it's not just some Joe Schmo saying it, you know, it's somebody who's got some clout.
There's a fear. They're afraid to return to college because they don't know what the opportunities are, and sometimes they think that it is going to be very different than it actually is. So access is one of the first challenges.
When I first walked in, I met with Monique and filled out some paperwork, and she told me what they had available and filled out financial aid papers, and she explained a lot to me, told me about some different seminars.
I took a workshop on online classes. I was very nervous about that. I had never taken an online class. So yeah, I took that workshop, and it quelled my fears.
People capital is where we see the future of UPS. And our experience has been, in fact, that when we educate our people, they contribute more to UPS. And being in the city of Philadelphia, where education is really the breeding ground for how we grow this region, Graduate Philadelphia is the real engine that's going to make that happen.
Our theory of action is to get a critical mass of people to and through college, or on their way to succeeding in college, or to inform people so that they know how to succeed in college.
It's about finding ways to equip 27-year-olds or 38-year-olds or 49-year-olds with the skills and the qualifications and the degrees.
Now I've gotten to the point where I put my kids through school and it's my turn, so now I'm ready.
Being a mother of 3, the grandmother of 8 with number 9 on the way, I felt like it was something that, you know, I wanted to do, you know, to really let everybody know that this is something you can do regardless of how old you are, and, you know, how many kids you have, how many grandchildren you have, you can do it.
You got to do it. Plain and simple, you just got to do it.
It's an investment that we really can't afford not to make.
If you don't take the step, there's no potential of realizing who you can be. That's, you know, you just can't begin to be who you have the potential to be without having taken that step.
Jyoti Foods is a company that makes ethnic Indian foods, not Indian style foods, but ethnic Indian foods more in the home-cooked style rather than the restaurant style. We make all vegetarian, all natural foods, both in retail pack as well as frozen meals for airlines. When we first started, the idea was to ship gourmet Indian foods by mail orders only. It evolved into doing wholesale business also and getting the products into stores. I was just about to finish my master's in nutrition, and we had 2 young children at that time. And both my husband and myself, we came up with this idea of doing something from home.
Jyoti did not want to go out to get a job and leave the children at home. So we thought of what could be done without her leaving home.
This was in 1989. We were living in Houston and there wasn't much Indian food available to the consumer. And so the idea grew in our minds and we started doing R&D work on canning Indian foods, and that's how the business started.
I have been a research engineer in corporate America for almost 50 years. And in corporate America, there is something missing, which is recognition of individual talent. I'm a soloist, and as a soloist, I am not a team player. And there is a very heavy emphasis in American corporate world on team player. So I was constantly suffering from not being a politician, not being a team player. And there was a time I reached that I said, I will have my own business while working for somebody else so that I could fund and continue to send my children to college and have food at the table. And that is how I did. But it is the lack of recognition of soloists in the corporate America that led me to start a business. The most important thing here is that we built this factory and this business without borrowing any money from anybody. And how did we do that? That is where the resourcefulness and ingenuity comes in. Even though I was never in the food industry, I started to learn about it, and I would buy used equipment. Very often it was almost at the price of a nickel to $1. And even though the equipment was not necessarily functional, I made it work. So this way we were able to build a factory which had no loans. And therefore, we did not have to worry about servicing loans, and we could funnel all the income from the business and even some of our own money on a regular basis until the business got to the point that it was not only self-sustaining but revenue generating. There is no one single trait that makes one an entrepreneur. There is skill, there is knowledge, there is engineering knowledge, there is entrepreneurship, which in itself involves perseverance, hard work. All these come together to make one an entrepreneur.
It is getting a notion in your mind that this is something that you would like to do, and it's not routine work. And once you have a notion of what you want to do, then you just keep working at it. There were many, many occasions that we could have just folded down, but we didn't let it go. We put whatever was needed into this business, whether it was personal money or time, effort, energy, all went into it. And I think that is paying off now.
Today we're at the Philadelphia Convention Center. This is the culminating event for the Work Ready 6-week summer program. They have been working on recycling projects or beautification projects or educational and mentoring projects. This is their opportunity to actually compete.
Work Ready Philadelphia is a program that promotes work experience for young people and helps youth across the city to build networks with their peers and with adults, and gives them an opportunity to learn more about careers that they might be interested in the future. Part of Work Ready is not just about the work experience that young people get, but it's also about connecting work and education. So in addition to working and earning a paycheck, youth across the city complete projects and portfolios as part of their 6-week summer experience, which gives them a sense of the education that they're going to need to pursue the careers that they're interested in.
It's also an opportunity for, I think, the stakeholders in the community to really see what good work our teenagers are doing.
Well, you can see by the excitement in these young people that they are indeed becoming work ready. I'm Shaka Fatah. I'm a United States Congressman from Philadelphia, and I'm a supporter of the Work Ready program. Some of the best members of Congress, were former pages and interns on the Hill. So there's a path to success that starts with quality internships.
We want individuals that come into the organization to be prepared to work. My name is John Clayton, Workforce Development Manager at Independence Blue Cross. I will say this, I believe that internships always give students or young adults an advantage. The work environment is very much different than being in high school, very much different than being in your neighborhood. So we give them really meaningful work that they can feel proud of, and that adds to the bottom line of our organization.
Like, I think my first day I was inside a meeting, and I was just sitting in the meeting just smiling. I was like, this is my first ever meeting. I'm gonna tell my mom when I get home.
Hi, my name is Monica Ojo, and I worked at Independence Blue Cross.
I'm not a morning person. I really am not. I get up around like 12 on a weekend, so that was a really challenging thing. But as soon as I got to the routine, then I started getting up early, pressing my clothes early, getting on my my papers inside my bag and whatnot. So I really do think I progressed in responsibility. I like to do my own things now, buy my own stuff because I got a paycheck, and yeah, that's pretty much. I'm really glad that. And now my mother is giving me more responsibilities, which has made me very happy.
It's really about setting students up to be work ready and to be successful.
Especially in these tough economic times, Bank of America realizes this is the time to continue funding, especially here in Philadelphia where there are so many challenges. My name is Debbie O'Brien. I work for Bank of America. I was very excited to be asked to be a judge today. These students need a chance, they deserve a shot. I do think it's going to be a very difficult decision.
Live from the Pennsylvania Convention Center for the Work Ready Philadelphia closing ceremony 2009. If you had a job or an internship through Work Ready this summer, this is the place to be. Today we are honoring the best and the brightest of Work Ready. The winner of the 2009 Internships Award is Project Milk.
I actually just won a trophy prize, the top internship prize for my project, which I designed, Project Milk. So yeah, it's a campaign I made to help Philadelphia students get into college and overall, in a nutshell, help Philadelphia better itself as a city. I always said I wanted to go into law, but that was just seeing on the surface. So then when I got the internship in a law firm, I got to see what went behind the doors, how lawyers get their information, go about getting clients. It helps you really get an idea what you're good at, what you could do. I really saw myself being a lawyer.
I work in the pro bono program at our law firm, and I was so impressed by the work that he did for alongside me. By the time the program ended, I was convinced that whatever he wants to do in life, he will be a success.
By doing this, I really am going to major in engineering. I love Work Ready.
I've had internships since I was 14 years old, so I have like a full-page resume now.
If you pulled somebody off the street and said, you have to start a business, what are you going to start? 90% of the people will say either some sort of retail store or some sort of food business. You have a lot of people who will have a lot of culinary knowledge, might have been cooking for their families for 30 years, and great recipes, great ideas, great drive, but really have no way to access a commercial food market. Restaurant kitchens that cost $110,000, $120,000 just for the equipment, not to mention you know, the rest of you know, everything you have to do and renovation. So that's a huge barrier to entry.
The whole concept behind this kitchen incubator is that you know, catering is a common sort of entrepreneurial venture in the inner city. Folks will you know, cater parties for their friends, for their family, for their churches, and they'll do it out of their kitchens. And it's a very gray economy business, meaning that, you know, it's not a legitimate business because they're not in a health inspected kitchen, but at the same time, they make good product and they have customers and they make money. Well, there's going to be a limit to how far you can go doing that out of your kitchen, or how much you can grow. I direct the Entrepreneurship Legal Clinic here at Penn, and what we do is we provide free transactional legal services to local entrepreneurs. Philadelphia generally is a city that has so much going for it, and yet has so much poverty and so many areas that really have seen a tremendous disinvestment.
The Enterprise Center Community Development Corporation, which focuses on the neighborhood immediately around our building here, and really works at sort of comprehensive community change. The corridor at 48th and Spruce was one of the sort of priority action areas. People really wanted to see change there.
48th and Spruce, when I talked to Gabriel about it, the idea was very good to me because I have some products that I like to develop and to also try to do retail marketing on some of my products, like the macaroni and cheese and stuff like that. Macaroni and cheese recipe, I've been working it for the past 15 years. And I just perfected it. It's one of my best sellers here. I have people come from out of state, New Jersey, Delaware, to come here and buy it. So I try to open up a market and see if there's an opportunity there.
Right. Why do you need to do it there instead of, you know, using this restaurant?
Well, here, first of all, space, and also I need the technical support because if I'm going to be mass producing, I need a kitchen space that will accommodate that, and I need the expertise. So by moving in that professional atmosphere, it will help me achieve my goal a lot better than doing it here while I'm cooking.
So they're taking what was a dormant property, they're turning that underutilized and actually, you know, not utilized asset and making it something for the neighborhood. It's going to be a place that is designed to help folks from the community. But the really cool part about it is that everything that they're going to do there is going to create more entrepreneurs.
So here we are in the former Food Right. A food entrepreneur would come to us, come to our door. They could be a caterer, they could be a baker, they could be somebody making a product for wholesale. They would come to us, we would say, great, you have to meet some minimum certifications, and once you meet those, then you're more than welcome to rent out the kitchen by the hour whenever you need it.
So one of the things that I really care about is encouraging folks that it doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter what neighborhood you're from, it doesn't matter what color you are, if you have a good business idea, you can compete.
I started having dreams about cupcakes. I told my husband that I wanted to open a cupcake shop, and I was a lawyer at the time, so he thought I was a little bit crazy. I saw in Austin that they had a cupcake truck that went around to bars, and I started researching it and thought that it would be a great idea for Philadelphia. I told people that I was going to do it before I actually did it, and I think the way I made it a reality was with a lot of luck and a lot of help. I found a truck purely through luck. I posted on Philly blog that I had a truck, which I didn't. I drew a picture of it. And I said, I have to find this truck. I looked on Craigslist. I looked on, in auto dealerships across the country. And they were either too expensive or I lost all of them. So on a last-ditch effort, my husband was like, we have to get this done, we have to get this done. I looked on Craigslist. One of the newer listings was for an old mail truck from 1988 that had 73,000 miles on it, and for whatever reason had a window. And my biggest thing was I was trying to find a step van to get a window put in. Here I'm finding one with a window 8 miles from where I'd already found someone to decorate it. So it was bing, bang, boom like that. I mean, we went from having no truck to I bought the truck the next day, drove it over to him. Even from my drawing, I drew sort of these big tires on the drawing, and when I saw the truck, it had the big tires and everything. So it really looks like my drawing, and I kind of feel like I made it happen in some weird way. To have your dream come true, I think the very first day we were in Love Park and I had a line that was, 30 people deep. I absolutely went into shock and I couldn't, they were like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong? I was pale as a ghost. It doesn't feel real. None of it feels real. As I'm doing all the work and scrubbing the floor, that part feels real, but I try not to let it go to my head. I try to, stay grounded and realize that every day is hard work. The hardest part of going from being a lawyer to a baker, essentially, was the physical challenge. I went from, more sedentary, a lot of driving, to, on my feet 12 hours a day, washing dishes, cleaning. So my body at first really rebelled against me. And also just, the stress of trying to wear so many hats at once. I design the website, I design the truck, I do the baking, I drive the truck. So in this interim time before I really have fully staffed myself, trying to be everything at once has been really challenging. Yeah, that's right where we want to be, but I think I'm going to try to go over on this side because there's more spots. I think that mobile business is going to be really big. I think that people are looking at their money differently and how they're going to spend it, and they still want to have a great experience and they still want to have a lot of fun, but I don't know that they want to spend as extravagantly perhaps as they had before. What mobile business lets you do is go to an area, hang out with a community, have people out, get them really good food, but you don't have the overhead of the space and it. So I see myself doing more mobile business consulting, helping people in the city of Philadelphia opening their own businesses, because that's been challenging for me, how they're going to get their licensing, and even just to the nitty gritty, like how do you get the truck done? How do you get a window in? So I think there's a lot of people out there that are going to be looking to do this in the future. If you want to start your own business, the best advice I can give you is, first of all, do it. Get your stuff out there. That if you have an idea, if you make cookies, if you fix cars, whatever you do, get a sandwich board, get out there, put up a website and start doing it, because a lot of people get stuck in the planning part of it because it is overwhelming, how many licensing. But if you're just already doing it, it seems like things kind of fall into place. So start as small as you can and ask friends and neighbors, is there interest? You'll know quickly whether or not anybody's interested. If they're interested, then you may have something there. If it's not going anywhere, well, then you haven't put your whole life savings into an idea. So start small, but start and do it.